Welcome, welcome. This channel is called Awaken with Debb. I'm Deborah Kaye. This channel is about awakening to the awareness of who we are. Awakening isn't always fun and games. Awakening can force you to face every shadow, every insecurity, every doubt, every shame, every trauma that's been hiding. But if you're here for it, then join me. Awakening is awakening to the awareness of who we are as a sovereign being without needing others to define who we are or where our happiness comes from. And once we can achieve that level, you do vibrate with this underlying hum of peace in your day-to-day life. No more anxiety about future bills, no more feeling of lack or not being good enough for accomplishments that you're afraid you're not going to have happen. Yeah. um I'm a little nasally today. Been having some allergies. The last 2 weekends have been amazing weekends outside, also, which would explain the lack of videos on the weekends. It's been wonderful having the nice weather to allow us to get outside for a full day. Where I live is in the desert, so a lot of the months are super hot, and you can only get outside during sunrise and sunset, and even sunset's pretty hot still. So the fall and spring and even the winter, they're just amazing times, and I really do spend pretty much every moment outside that I can on my days off, because that's where my soul belongs. That's where I release my electrical discharge. That's where I gain creativity from. That's where I pause and connect to God. That's where the butterflies and dragonflies come and give me symbols. That's where the pussy willows pop up out of nowhere. And I'm like, wow, these don't belong here. Why are they here? Nature. Awakening to the awareness of who we are. It's definitely easiest in nature. That's your homework for today. Go find a patch of nature, even if it's just a tree, that you stare up into the branches. Notice the geometry of the tree. Notice the perfection of even the flaws of the tree. And these types of observations is what brings us back into the moments of gratitude and peace. If any of this sounds interesting to you, make sure to check out my channel. A lot of other videos are right messages that will find you when you need them. I've been doing some small little tasks within each video. It's kind of like an Easter egg hunt. You never know when those tasks are going to pop up. Might be in the beginning of the video, might be the middle or the end, but they're there. So these little tasks are the tools that we use in our day-to-day life to help us remember who we are. It's not about healing, and it's not about fixing. It's about remembering what makes us feel the happiest. And that's going to change. And as you go through your cycles of awakening, something that is probably, I've had times where I've gone through dark stages and I knew they were dark stages. And I was like, these are dark stages, get me out of them. And then I got out of them. And then I have had moments where dark stages were cloaked in disguise, trying to bring me down, trying to be fun and games. And it was a darkness in disguise. It wasn't fun and games in the end. It took away my sovereignty. It made me see what validation from others, what that means, and where that fits in my life and where that fits in other people's lives. Start paying attention to that. And I've lost a lot of people to people that have pushed the envelope of validation one way or another. Whether it's people losing their minds, it doesn't have to be drugs, it doesn't have to be alcohol. People can just lose their minds through mental illness and depression. And when I say mental illness, I don't necessarily mean the chemical reaction. I mean the electrical and energetical reactions that happen within our soul and our consciousness mixed in with this human avatar. It is no joke being here on this planet. This avatar is a highly complicated piece of technology that this malleable consciousness has been given control over. And it's up to us to remember and awaken to our sovereign beings to decide, are we going to take control of our consciousness and our machinery that is this avatar? Or, I'm checking the microphone, or are we going to succumb to the programs that are the larger thought forms of this matrix, that are the fear, that are the greed, that are the over sexualized everything, that's the seeking validation, the climbing the ladder that goes nowhere, the impressing people that doesn't matter. 555, as I said that, it's which one are you choosing to be? And paying attention to these avatars is no light task. I mean, you have to feed it, you have to water it, you have to exercise it, you have to cleanse the brain with meditation, you have to pay attention to your endocrine system, you have to pay attention to your lymphatic system, it's your digestive system, I mean, there's systems, but it's all one. And that's just the physical of it. When you look at, you learn in biology class all the different systems, kind of as I was just listing. And then you have the spiritual and emotional systems also. And then you have the quantum and consciousness system. And then you have the interdimensional and across timelines systems. And all of those are always affecting you at any given moment, whether you are aware of it or not. Just because you're not aware to that level of what is happening and how the body operates doesn't mean it's not truth, doesn't mean it's not fact. The fact that millions of people have been watching chemtrails above their head or cloud seeding, whatever you want to call it, for over a decade, 2 decades, and only now people are starting to even remotely believe that it's true. People would look right at them and say it's not, and say it's fake because someone else told them it was fake. Someone of authority told them it was fake. What does authority mean? Does authority come from experience? Does authority come from how many followers you can have? Does authority come from doing the right things? Does authority come from speaking to God? Does authority come to showing that you can act from respect and integrity? Where does authority come from? What authority do you follow? What authority is guiding your life? Is there someone out there that your actions are trying to impress? Is there someone's validation out there that you are seeking, or approval that you are seeking? Sometimes I don't know if I use words in the right context. I am human. I am a 16-year-old high school dropout, for the record, but not actually dropout. They kicked me out, and I still continue to get a GED and a diploma and continuing it. So I guess maybe not a full dropout. Yeah. Resilience. Resilience is a big deal. I was a 4.0 student, great athlete. My mindset was set to be a CEO and be my own rich man and not need to listen to anyone for anything. Instead, the validation factors, the fear, the shame, all of that came, you're just a child. And then I became a 16-year-old mother. High schools frown on that, so they kicked me out. But I was going to be damned if I was going to be a high school dropout. So I signed up for, actually, they wouldn't let me really do online. Like, online school wasn't really a thing. There wasn't like a homeschool type thing. They were really rude about giving me options to graduate high school as a teenage person. They're just like, well, you have a baby, so you don't need a diploma or something. Shouldn't it be the opposite? Shouldn't it be, hey, you have a child you need to take care of. Let's help you become an educated and skilled person so that you can provide for this person. So I had to create my own resilience. I got creative, and I would have been allowed to join an adult education if I were to be married. So I got married before I was 18, so I could be considered an adult before I was 18, so that I could get my diploma and move on with my life. Creativity, resilience. You work with what you got. Life is never going to go as you plan. It's always going to be randomized, because that is the way of the world. There is a secret order of chaos behind things that you can't possibly have control over all the time. You might be able to fake it for a few years or few decades. Why do you think midlife crises are such a big deal? Because you can't run from it. Awakening is really paying attention to the sovereignty of who you are. Asking yourself why you do things. What patterns and habits do you have? Why are they there? On an emotional level, on a physical level, like what are they providing you? There's been times where my morning habits and routines have been very structured with like 20 different health and wellness things. And they were great, but it was also very kind of obsessive and strict. And sometimes too much of a good thing can be a bad thing too. And a lot of that also was just, I felt that I had to be doing all the things possible in order to justify me not being where I wanted to be, if that makes sense. Like, I knew I wasn't where I wanted to be, and I knew that the choices I had made would not allow me to be in this bubble of reality, because the choices I had made were long-term choices that just keep me in this other bubble. But I felt like if I was doing all the things that everyone viewed as good and perfect and healthy and whole, then as long as I was doing those things, it didn't matter that I wasn't accomplishing this. I wasn't necessarily doing those things to be healthy and happy, because in the end, it actually overloaded me, and then in the end, I wasn't healthy and happy. So you have to ask yourself, why are you doing things? Do I have a morning routine that's filled with health and wellness still? Absolutely. Is it filled with every single fad of health and wellness, of, the Google top 20 things you need to add to your morning routine? No, I don't need that. I work what works for me with each day. Each day is different. Each week is different, especially if you're a female. Each week is literally different. Each day is literally going to be different. And even as humans, each day is going to be different, because even if you're a male and your physical body isn't changing the same way a female's does, we still have the sun and moon and all the energies outside that is constantly rotating and constantly changing patterns, and those are also going to affect us. You hear people talk about full moons and Mercury retrograde, and these energies do affect us. They're not stories for nothing. So awakening to awareness of who you are is a matter of disassembling, deconstructing, and building from, you're not even building, you're just noticing. Just notice who you are. Notice what makes you happy. Notice what doesn't make you happy. Notice what values you stand for. Notice the type of world that you would envision to have if you could wave a magic wand and have society be perfect. Like, look at things like that and see what you can do to get one step closer to that reality. You're not broken. You don't need to fix yourself. But if you're in pain, witnessing and being aware of the pain, accepting the pain, witnessing the pain, naming the pain, those are important steps to get you moving forward. So I'm actually feeling called to end this video now. If any of this resonated for you, it was meant for you. These videos are not pre-scripted. It is fully channeled. I even can feel things change as I'm speaking, of different channelings coming through. And to me, that says that for whoever's picking up on the signal at that time, that's what they needed to hear. So that's what I allowed to come through. It's a beautiful thing when you learn the connection to the other side. And that's what we're here to do. Because that connection to the other side very much so influences us in this world. And that is part of awakening and understanding the sovereignty of who we are. So if you liked this, make sure to like for the algorithms. Comment below if you're going to do the little homework. Do we remember the homework task? What was the homework task? New homework task. Find a way where you have a habit that is doing a disservice to yourself. And ask yourself, where did you get that habit? Why is it there? Why do you still have it? Is it going to be hard to let go? And why? Is there a way you can make it not hard to let go? Can you reframe why it's there? Can you thank it and say goodbye? Give it a try. Other than that, make sure you subscribe so that you catch the messages that are meant for you when you need them. This is Awaken with Debb, and I'm Deborah Kaye. Have a blessed day.